Oh, there would definitely be cops there if that was the case.
Yeah, it was just a paramedic and a fire truck. But the paramedics was there for a long time, and then the fire truck came
Is this out in front of your apartment
next door.
next door?
Well,
Huh.
like the apartment complex next to us.
The one you're looking at for the next.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, I better not get the haunted apartment.
Hmm.
All right. Just one. I was just wondering because it was weird that I saw the two and not any cops or ambulance.
Mm-hmm. 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 You gotta talk louder. That way the mics will pick you up. Jason started it. I did not.
All right. Well, bye.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you too.
Sorry, I had to do it. Dave talking to his family on the phone has become part of the podcast
Yeah,
now.
because it's not like we don't do the podcast every fucking Monday, right? So why the hell not?
That's good
The
shit.
fuck is wrong with this thing?
I don't see no chat.
Well, I clicked the pop up and it told me to go fuck myself.
Okay, now what do I click?
Yeah, exactly. Peter. See, that's like it's original Lois, like when her voice was lower before it got like more
Yeah.
attenuated to
Yeah.
what it is now. So we're gonna have to go to subscriptions, and then we're gonna go here.
We're missing chat because Dave's slow on the draw.
Oh, suck it!
All right, we got Bronco Fett in the chat.
Isn't that a racist symbol?
So dumb. Oh
It is.
my god. Like,
So fucking ridiculous.
and it all started as a Reddit joke. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like it was just a bunch of fucking trolls on Reddit who were like, "Ooh, let's see if we can convince these fucking morons on the internet that this is a racist symbol." And wouldn't you know it?
This thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Layman's terms. Look at that.
Hey, look at that. Big Keith. Boy, it's
Had the big wah wah.
yeah, take some balls to show your face around here.
It's all good. Listen, he's not the asshole who fucking made a shit talking video looking at the wrong fucking team.
So funny.
God. Like after the fact, I'm like looking at him going like, how the fuck? Like that can't be right. And I'm like, oh shit. Looking at my fucking squadron team. Which I lost that one, by the way.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Who were you playing?
Some fucking schlep. I don't remember. One of the new kids.
Ah.
Which was really funny because we have this text chain. So like there's a bunch of shit talking going through the text, and I spend most of my time just fucking making fun of Snotty. So
Is he still in that league?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Huh.
He makes it seem like he's like one of the plank owners of the league, and he like started talking shit in the very beginning, and I was like, "Yeah, nope, fuck you, dude. Who the fuck do you think you are?"
That's fine.
Like I would, yeah, I was one of the founding members of that league, and yeah, I put him in his place. Well, that's the thing, retired guy. A lieutenant colonel doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me.
That is true.
Like, you want to put yourself in this position to get fucked with? I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yep.
So
They can't take your pension.
good game, Keith. It was good though. It's more.
Can't contort my finger that way. Why is it? There we go.
I thought you were trying to flex in a weird way with
No, I'm
your
trying to-
oddly tight shirt here.
Why is it oddly tight?
I don't know. It's just just weird in the shoulder area.
Like so big, it's like distracting.
So massive, like I can't even think. Tell you, man, we gotta like you're buffing, you're getting buff, and I haven't done shit. I've been in the Hurt Locker, so this should be the time if you wanted to fucking try and
do the arm wrestle.
do the arm wrestle thing. Like,
Well, we'd have to do it live on YouTube.
well, we are live right now.
Well, we can't do it right now. There's stuff in the way. We'd have to. It's something we'd have to plan.
It's actually similar to the middle finger in Brazil. Yeah, you can't do this in Turkey either.
No.
You can't make the OK symbol in Turkey.
Oh wow.
No, it's basically like like asshole, like calling somebody an asshole.
Ah.
Do you remember that? You deployed to Turkey?
I did. I have no recollection of that.
Oh,
No.
I had the stupid shit that's in my fucking brain that I remember.
I just remember having really good lamb while I was there. Like the little pit place at downtown.
the
You
red
go out
onion.
the gate and
Yeah.
oh man, it was good shit.
Yeah, the red onion. It was right outside the gate. Had the big tables. You put the fucking paper
Yeah,
across.
yeah.
Yep, and had the bread all the way going down it.
Ah, it was good shit, man.
Yeah. Tell you what, one of my regrets though, but I wasn't aircrew at the time, so I didn't really understand what I was missing.
Uh-huh.
But the leather jackets.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I wish I had deployed there as aircrew because I would have been like, yeah, make me up one of those jackets because they did the cool like
the insert on the inside with
yeah.
the blood shit.
Yeah,
and all that,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because the ones we got, like the one I got after my fucking mission check, that was, I mean, it's, U.S. government standard garbage. Which, oh, by the way, like, so I had this leather, like, our Air Force fucking, leather jackets, right? Our bomber jackets.
Yeah. Air crew, not Air Force.
Air crew.
Yeah. Not everybody in the Air Force gets one.
No, absolutely not. Especially not those fucking space weenies.
But anyway.
Regardless. So, 17 years I had that fucking thing. Never cleaned it once.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really even think about it until I tried to put it on, like week before last. It was getting colder. I'm like, oh, I'll wear my leather jacket in. And I go to put it on, and I'm like, first of all, shrunk.
It's like, yeah, this thing shrunk.
Shrunk a little bit. This leather jacket shrunk a little bit. But it was like, it had this smell. It had a smell to it. I'm like, what does this smell? Like, and then I started thinking about it. It's like, I have never washed this motherfucking
17 years of aircrew BO.
Yeah, I happen to not like. I shower 3 times a day to prevent shit like that because I am like deathly afraid of fucking like smelling.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't BO. It was just general like 17 years of being shoved in a fucking helmet bag and then pulled out, worn like back and forth to the fucking airplane, outside doing walk-arounds, like all that fucking bullshit. Like it just smelled.
Yeah.
So I took some fucking the same stuff I'd use to clean baseball gloves.
Yeah,
some like lanolin and vitamin E, and then rubbed it all down real good. Smells great.
Nice.
Fucking cleaned it right up. Like didn't worry about the inside or anything. So
very cool.
Yeah, I have to break that out.
Yeah, I gave mine to my son. He really wanted it. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna wear it. So
tell him that's you have to keep that forever. Like there's very few things you think about in our aircrew careers, right? There's certain milestones that like mean so much more, and there's so few of us as that are enlisted aircrew. Career enlisted aviators. I mean, we're truly like a percentage point of that 1% of the Air Force that actually goes and flies the fucking mission.
Yeah, we're very rare. I'll just say that.
So, what's up, Tevin? Big lovin'. Yeah, anyway, so it's just like one of those things where that's something that I would make sure that I keep and that gets passed along.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to have my mother's father's. He was in the 8th Air Force. So there's like pictures of him with his fucking no shit bomber jacket and his old school Army Air Corps cap with the 8th Air Force and shit on it.
Nice.
That'd be fucking great to have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just, one of those things where those guys came back from the war and they didn't think about that shit. They just threw it away. They didn't want to think about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure people who went through all that bullshit are like, I don't fucking even want to think about this.
Yeah. And we have my grandfather's jump boots because he was a paratrooper. So we have his jump boots. He kept his jump boots. So I'm keeping my flight boots, my black ones, just to be able to like have a collection for whatever, like some random great grandkid is going to open up something and was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What are these boots? You throw them away or some shit. Hopefully I'll be dead by then, but
right. Otherwise it might kill you. So
yeah. Well, and plus I if anything from your career like you lives on, you want it to be like certain things like that. Like jacket's really cool. Fucking shadow box, make sure you have a good shadow box when you retire so that like 20 years from now you look back on that and go like, yeah, it's cool. It's a cool thing. Even if they take everything else off the wall, You know, all the little thank yous and awards and bullshit like that. But that shadow box is something that can get passed on. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Apparently we'll get to Star Wars.
Mm.
This isn't the actual pod yet.
Well, we're letting it spool up, right? Because it's not quite 6 o'clock.
Oh, right. We did say 6. Well,
Yep.
3 minutes away.
See, look at that. We were killing time.
Yep.
Doing it live, bitches.
Indeed. All right. I got my list here. Oh, I didn't do it to where when I flip it up, it's written this way.
Mine's just on my phone. Ooh, we get the deer antlers for the dog. Oh, I got a whole thing about the dog. Where's the notes? Hang on. Let me add this so I don't fucking forget.
All right.
And,
this isn't something where your wife's going to call me
Nope.
later tonight and be like, can you edit that out?
Nope.
Okay. Because we've had that happen before.
Do that. And
You guys are kind of spoiling it in the chat, but yes, I was going to mention the appearance on Used and Abused. It's in the notes. And since we're talking about it though, Scott, this coming weekend is a 4-day weekend for me, going into and including Veterans Day. Any of those 4 days, I should be good if you want to schedule it for one of those.
just not. We'll go try and do normal time on Monday.
Okay, not Monday.
Yeah, Monday. We'll be taping on
The
Monday.
other 3 days. So, oh man, Shotgun Mark's here for his own topic. All right, very good.
Very good.
And goddamn right. And I'm also going to talk about that, Scott, about our team.
Yeah.
So, all right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we going to do this? All right. So it's your toast.
Mm-hmm.
Reactor. Oh, why is this happening?
I don't know.
I feel fat. Do I look fat?
Yes.
I ate a lot. I ate 2 helpings of dinner.
R2D2 skin on your drone, dude. For Christmas, I really want I want a new camera. I want to upgrade to my old T3,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think that's what's going to be like the push towards my Christmas gift.
Yeah.
But fuck me, I want one of those drones so bad. That's like, you follow people on Instagram. Like, I follow a lot of photographers on Instagram, and so many of them are doing like drone shots of Philly, where they'll get up to like 500 feet, and then they'll take like a shot of like Rittenhouse Square, so you see the trees, the buildings, everything. Great fucking shots.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get those shots unless you're in a fucking building at that co-altitude.
But don't you run the risk of like losing your fucking drone?
The way the technology is now,
Mm.
not nearly as much as it would have been in the past.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I'm still a still guy myself.
Yeah.
So
I was actually just having this conversation today with a guy in my office. He's talking about taking photography classes, and I'm like, you know what? 5 years ago, I'd have said that's fucking stupid. But you know, quite frankly, like especially after like seeing a lot of your pictures that you just take with your phone, and I was even telling him like, I got this friend like. I've had phones like the next generation up from his. My pictures look like shit, and his look fucking great. I don't understand. So,
yeah, it's framing. It's sometimes it's just how you see the shot.
mm-hmm.
And I got brought up taking still photography, you know, and black and whites and stuff like that. So I think I was trained early for certain things. Did you see this, by the way? Check this guy.
I saw that picture that you put up.
It's so fucking. Oh, look, a drone. Fuck. I know now. You know the phone's listening. Such a good screen background.
Yeah,
it's very peaceful.
Right,
I'll show everyone here.
Oh, there we go. All right, we're ready to start. Now we're 2 minutes over.
Well, we're waiting on you. You're finger fucking your damn watch.
All right, I got it. So are we ready?
Ready, set, go.
Your toast. 30 seconds of silence.
Waiting on you.
Starting now.
To all of my birthday supporters on Wreath Across America.
Yeah, to all your supporters.
So, the fad now is for people to pick. I say fad like it's a bad thing, right? But the fad is to, for my birthday, I'm picking this charity, and if you could, donate to this charity during my birthday, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So my thing is Race Across America, because I go and I'm running it for the local cemetery. You've heard me talk about it before. So I think I finished out, like, I put $1,000 out there just for funsies.
Yeah.
And I think I finished it like somewhere around $800, like 890, something like that.
That's great.
So thank you to everyone. If you donated and you support the podcast as well, I truly thank you. The generosity of some random people sometimes.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
so,
awesome.
and not so random people
Now,
is amazing.
real quick, isn't your birthday donation thing that you did last year what caused us to do the holiday special live viewing last year?
It was
that your birthday.
It was, yeah. So
nice.
that was a way to get people to donate. I that was a breast cancer one last year because we had just lost my cousin. So yeah, this year wanted to push all that energy into getting more wreaths into the veteran cemetery. So
Yeah, that's great.
thank you.
Good cause. All right. So that being the case, hello everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. I'm Mr. Jason Roscoe.
Oh my God.
With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
I'm just going to fucking you keep up the snaps, and you're gonna snap myself right the fuck out of here. Just be like, I can't take it anymore, and fucking I'm gonna leave. It's jeez, I don't know why it bothers me so much. It just
Can
does.
I get Dave to walk out mid-podcast?
Probably.
That is the next challenge. Can I get on his nerves so fucking much that he just gets up and goes home?
Yeah,
Can I do it?
perhaps.
All right.
Perhaps. One will never know until it happens,
So
and it'll be
until-
great live for the fucking podcast.
Well, until that happens, what are we talking about today?
We are doing first, before we get to today's topic, let me talk about Podbelly, and while Jason's finger banging the soundboard over here, support Podbelly, the
Yes.
Podbelly Network, and all of the associated podcasts with that. We are a proud member of the Podbelly Network, and hopefully we can make the Podbelly Network somehow work for us.
Yeah.
Because it's all about us. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, yeah, Podbelly, woo! But really, what have you done for me lately?
Right.
What have you done for this podcast lately? Probably a lot. I don't know. I'm talking straight out my ass.
Yeah.
But support the Podbelly Network, and that's that. But we're also doing a fan pick topic,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Shotgun Mark.
Yep. One of our Patreon supporters, our number one Patreon supporter.
That's right. And I'm sure there's a list of Patreon people that we're going to talk about
There
here at some point.
is.
So,
but what topic did Mark pick
let
this
me
week?
scroll to the notes to see how you worded it.
I'm trying to fill the dead air.
You're in dead air. It's not even. Oh, so top 5 Sith Lords, dark side users. I prefer to call it the top 5 Darksiders.
Right.
So basically, we're gonna go through our top 5 list of dark side users.
Yep.
And
And we'll get into how we chose these, what criteria
Right.
we used, and all that
Right.
as when we get to the main topic.
try to figure out what the fuck is a Sith. Really, when it comes down to it, how do you define what a Sith is?
Right. So
Is it a species? Is it a gender? I hate to assume genders, because God fucking forbid.
where did that come from?
I don't fucking know.
Oh my god. All right. So speaking of our Patreon supporters, first, I want to give an extra big shout out this week to Camille Donovan, who upped her Patreon support from $1 to the $5 tier on the on the condition that we increase the number of snaps per episode. So thank you, Camille, for doing that. In addition to Camille, we've also got Nick Jackson, Frederick Martin, Big Lovin', Scott Rasmussen, Tactical Swede, Frank Kulovich.
And that's it.
No. Don Solsky, and number one himself, Shotgun Mark. Thank you all for your support. We love you. You're the reason why
How
we do this.
many more snaps?
All I know is her exact quote was, "Now dance, bitch." So.
Wow. Okay. All right, I got you. I will refrain from knife jacking this motherfucker because there is a good reason behind it, and so I will support it to that end.
Now, if
Or at least at some point where I'm going to break his fucking fingers.
If anybody wants to, I need these to work.
I know. Think about your shit.
To up the, I'm doing what our Patreon supporters are requesting, and if anybody wants to up the ante on Camille's donation and get me to stop snapping, then by all means go to patreon.com/ATSW podcast, and you can do that there. In the meantime, we got a few other things to take care of.
You are putting Jason's life in jeopardy, by the by. Or at least his fucking hands.
And you do have to specify whether you want more or less snaps throughout the course of the show.
Yeah, because this motherfucker will assume that you just want more snaps.
Right. No, Camille specifically said, "I want more snaps. Now dance, bitch." So.
I respect the reasons for that.
In addition to our Patreon supporters, we've also got the All Things Star Wars family is growing exponentially.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got our guys, the Booth in the Back fellas, Don and Brady, who
Right.
are also launching the Escape Pod soonish.
January, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that when they're talking? January.
Allegedly. Yeah, it's up.
I've seen all kinds of interesting camera works that are happening, and
Yeah.
I've seen some sampling of different things. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Escape Pod has to bring to the All Things Star Wars podcast family.
Yes.
That's too much.
Soon, potentially to be renamed. More to
No.
follow.
That was there, right?
It's like, just funny watching you, like, wait a minute.
Shit.
In addition to the Booth in the Back fellas, we've got Layman's Terms, the great YouTube channel where our good buddy Keith Layman, local Jersey boy, does, his thing. He talks about random stuff, opens packs of magic cards, all kinds of good shit. So go check him out. And last but certainly not least, the Used and Abused podcast, which I should be making a special guest appearance on, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. That's kind of up to Scott. But, watch for that. And I'm really, really excited about this episode.
And
that I'm going to be on.
Maybe we can talk to our connections within the Podbelly network and see if maybe we can branch his product out into the Podbelly domain.
I really need to do that.
Yeah.
I've just been lazy. I'm sorry. I'm a very lazy person. I procrastinate. Procrastination is like my number one talent. So,
Look, we are products of the 70s, so yes, I think it was something in the water.
Yeah, I blame my parents, but whatever. So, moving on. Anything else on our growing family?
No,
All
I'm
right.
sure we'll talk more about it as we go.
Dave brought to my attention a couple times, I guess it was Tactical Swede who brought it to your attention, that we are part of several YouTube compilations with our...
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
Craziness. We should have links to those compilations. Do we have said links?
I was kind of hoping you would. Since
Son
you're
of a bitch!
You're the one who brought it to my attention.
That shit's...
Anyway, so our Rise of
Excuse me.
Skywalker final trailer reaction has made several compilation videos. I still need to make the one with all of the All Things Star Wars family. I just so busy lately. It's just like...
I know.
It's very hard. So, I will do that, I promise. Soon.
Right.
When will then be now?
Yeah, soon.
So...
Probably too late.
Yeah.
However...
Well, I mean, at least for our own... I don't know. Benefit?
Sure.
Yeah. So, looking at Star Wars news this week, there's really been nothing.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, you've got all your fucking stupid speculation and everything going on with Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, which I'm staying away from. I think I mentioned last week that I've now muted every Facebook group in my feed, except for the All Things Star Wars Sidebar Cantina, which, by the way, if you post any kind of spoiler in the Cantina, you will be removed from the group. Period. I don't care who you are. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, no news. So this is what I like to call kind of the calm before the storm, because this is really it.
For sure.
This is the last dead week forever.
Technically,
for us.
it's the last day.
Yeah,
Because tomorrow, the Resistance book comes out.
Yeah, Resistance Reborn.
Right.
Speaking of which, that's a great segue right into our weeks.
Yes.
You can see
yes, it is.
You can see the way I did it in the notes. So, I texted you.
Oh, that's what that's for.
Yeah, I think I texted you last Tuesday because we kind of talked about Audible, talking about Resistance Reborn
Right,
and all
right.
that. So, I just happened to be in my bank account on that Tuesday morning, and I saw a charge from Amazon/Audible. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, did I subscribe to Audible? Like, I don't remember. Had to go to work. Then I'm at work and I'm able to log into my Audible account, and I look and I'm like, motherfucker, I had 3 fucking Audible credits in there. I'm like, god damn it! When the hell did I subscribe to this?
Well,
so this is one of those things, by the way, that I talked about several months ago when I'm like, all the fucking recurring payments that you accrue now in this digital age with fucking Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and all this shit.
Yeah, you have to keep track of all that because it adds up. It fucking adds up, and it adds up quickly.
Yeah, and then it's like, where the fuck did all my money just go?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I have 3 Audible credits. So one of them I used to pre-order the Resistance Reborn book.
Right.
Which, by the way, narrated by Mark Thompson again, the fucking guy who's narrated all the really good Star Wars audiobooks. So
cool.
I have high hopes for the audio version of Resistance Reborn. 11 and a half hours in length. So, not terrible.
I think, so I'm actually on the Amazon page now because I pre-ordered the hard copy of the book.
Yeah.
Now, me knowing me, I cannot sit down and read this book right now. I just can't. Like, there's too much going on in life and everything else. It's like, fuck. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to listen to it as well.
Oh, okay.
So we've had the same commute more or less. So we'll probably finish right around the same time. Yeah. Assuming we start it tomorrow.
Right. Plus, it's a 4-day weekend for me, so there's no reason why I shouldn't be done by Monday morning.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I'm such a fan of the printed page, and I know that this book's going to show up, and we talked about it before, like this cycle of reading for Dave. You know, I go through these cycles where I voraciously read, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm done. Yeah. Like, and I'm in that trough right now of don't really feel like reading, and so if I'm listening to it in a car though, and I'm doing it for the show, then I know it'll get done. Yeah. But
at least you could put that time in the car to good use, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, we got some more thrift store finds from the last week.
Word.
So first, my son Ben, he's been kind of obsessed with army men lately. You know, little green army men.
Oh, shit.
I think it's because he's been watching Home Alone a lot the past couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah, which I'm telling him, like, it's not Christmas time yet. This was even before Halloween, and he's watching Home Alone. I'm like, it's Halloween. Let's watch a fucking Halloween movie. He's like, no, I want to watch Home Alone. So he's watching it. And I think he was like focusing on that scene where Kevin set up the fucking army man. He was shooting him with the BB gun and whatnot. But yeah, now Ben he wants army men. So
okay,
him and Kristen went to a thrift store, and obviously they found big bags of army men, fucking massive fucking bags.
You guys are absolutely amazing at finding shit in those thrift stores, by the by.
I credit Kristen and Ben for all of this.
Yeah,
I don't find any of this shit. I just get texts like, "Hey, do you want this?" So,
yeah, I've been in like a handful of stores because I've been looking for something for the lodge. Yeah. I want to get a cheap fucking stereo system just to be able to put behind the bar in the lodge. I swear to God, I've been in these stores 100 times with Kathy, and I'll see something and I never would have thought twice about. Now that I'm actually looking for something, I can't find shit. I'm looking for Star Wars stuff. I'm looking for going through LPs, trying to find like a record, that I'd want to have in a collection. Yeah. Can't find shit.
No.
Nope. I'd be lucky. I mean, if I was looking for dust, I probably wouldn't find it.
Well,
fucking pathetic.
So Ben got a couple of these big bags of army men, and he busts them open. And in one of them, he found something. He's like, "Dad, you might want this." So the first thing he found was this.
Hey,
a Luke Skywalker.
So that's like a.
It's not the full 3.5 inch or 3 3/4 inch figures. It's like he's in a specific pose.
Right.
But it also, in that same bag, came with this. It's a Palpatine sitting on the throne. So obviously this was probably a 3-pack with Luke, Palpatine, and probably Vader right there.
So Luke's double fisting. Honestly, the way Luke's holding his hands right there. I mean, what does that look like to you guys? I mean,
Do you really need 2 hands for that?
yeah. Hey, I mean, Luke could be stacked. You don't know. He could be fucking walking around like a goddamn tripod.
You're right. So, but yeah, these were in the bag for, again, the big bag of army and probably like $1 or 2.
No shit.
And he's like, here, you might want these. I'm like, oh shit, I'll keep them and I'll put them up on the show. So.
Sidebar. So, ever notice? You'll see it around the old building, the old squadron,
Mhm.
and I know somebody like we were been friends with for years back in base housing days. Ever notice that like you go someplace and you'll see like a little just our standard little green army guy
Mhm.
like just placed in random spots?
Yes, I have
Left
seen
like Easter eggs. That it's a thing. Like I'll actually look for it now when I'm ever in a different building or something.
Uh-huh.
And you look around and you see it. You'll see like a little green army guy just like hanging out. Like somebody will leave it in like on top of a fire extinguisher or up on like I think in the auditorium
Mhm.
in upstairs in the ops building. There's a couple in the auditorium.
Okay.
Like you just have to look for them.
Right.
So next time you're in there for some fucking mandatory formation.
Kind of like hidden Mickeys.
Yeah,
in,
exactly.
At Disneyland.
Exactly. So I don't know whenever I see Little Green Army Man, I'm like, God, how cool is it that people have that foresight? Like that's something that would be really cool to do, but I can't do it now because I know somebody else who does it.
Yeah.
But just a really cool idea, just to leave a little little boop, just leave that there.
Maybe I should start doing that at my work in my building.
Yeah, leave like fucking. Just get old. You know what you do? You get old computers and just start pulling the fucking BIOS chips. Because picture what a chip looks like, right? Like a chipset. Just boonk, put one of those and start leaving them around the building.
That would be funny.
Because those nerds didn't play with Army Men.
Yeah, that is true. Well, most of them are probably too young to really even know what the hell they are.
Had a conversation. It's further sidebar. Had a conversation about the stratification of nerddom today.
Yeah.
In the office, where we were talking about like the different levels of nerd.
Is LARPing like the top? Like, is that the?
No. So my specific instance was when I worked at CompuCom, where you had like the QA guys who, back in the mid to late '90s, had T1 lines going to their house, and they fucking had LAN parties where they're playing. They just sit there. The only time they ever saw any kind of sunlight was like in between going from the car to the building at work at 3 p.m. Otherwise, they never saw the fucking light of day.
Yeah.
Because they'd play Quake back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have LAN parties playing Quake with their fucking T1 lines. And so those were like the uber nerds in the fucking thing. Whereas the config techs, we were ones that were fucking getting laid and drinking beer at the end of the shift. But I mean, obviously we're still nerds. I mean, we're talking about Star Wars and fucking like... There was also, I think I talked about this before on a podcast, where that's where I was first introduced to Magic the Gathering in like 98, where there's a group of nerds in the corner that were like playing. What the fuck are they doing?
Fucking right.
Yeah. So again, stratification and nerddom.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
For me, I think LARPing would have to be like the ultimate end of the.
So my
sphere.
cousins all do that. My cousins all LARP. They've always wanted me to get into it. I just like physically, I don't think I could do it. But like, you want to release some fucking aggression. And all right, let me go fucking beat on somebody with a Nerf sword for fucking a couple of days. That'll get that shit taken care of.
I think I'd probably just hurt somebody, like for real.
Same.
Yeah.
Especially somebody who I might like. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to hurt you now. Just like Jason after he snaps his fingers a bunch of times. Sorry, dude.
Oh, that reminds me. So, back to the thrift store. I believe Ben found this, and these things are pretty torn up, but they are original VHSs of the non-special edition original trilogy.
So
beat the fuck up, but
yeah, they were taped together or something. That's a shame. But yeah, so Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. These are the two that Kathy got from the same CBS Fox video. How you doing?
Yeah, she
got. I brought them on the podcast before.
Oh, right,
got them at the library for like a nickel or some shit. Yeah,
yeah. I think these were 25, 50 cents each, something like that. So
I mean, what the fuck? But it's just one of those things. You put it in the archives. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like, she'll find copies of the special edition VHSs all the time, and I'll be like, "No, I'm good," because you can tell from the packaging if it's special edition or not, even if it doesn't say it on there. And but every time she finds one that's non-special edition, I'm like, "Yes, absolutely, 100%," because you never know. Because it seems like Lucasfilm, even under the Disney umbrella, they don't want to re-release the.
I think they're at this point. You just keep that in your hip pocket for one day when Star Wars isn't making you money.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Well, what the fuck was that?
It was a.
Did it
steak
go
bug.
in my drink?
I don't think so. I just saw it kind of go.
Oh no, it's right there.
Oh.
What the fuck is that?
I thought it was a stink bug.
No, it's green.
Get the fuck out! It's mutated. Well, just don't touch it.
Oh, it can't sit there. You need to go away. Go. And it's gone. All right.
Anyway,
Back to our normally
well,
scheduled
one last
shenanigans.
One last store find. This is actually really interesting. I think this was a quarter. Kristen and Ben found this one. This is Star Wars Science Fair book. Over 30 experiments. So it's like a kid's book, but it's 30 science experiments that they kind of relate to Star Wars in here. It's pretty neat. If you like flip through it and look, you can see some of the...
It's probably one of those, Scholastic Book Fair. You know, some kid was like, "Oh, I want to get the Star Wars thing at the book fair," and fucking, you do it. It's probably around episode 2 time frame based on the Yoda.
So I can probably guarantee you... that,
2013.
Yeah. But I can guarantee you that at least one of my grandkids will be doing a lot of these experiments. And until then, it's going to go into the Sacred Jedi texts.
Yes, which need to go on the Sacred Jedi shelves.
Yes.
At some point.
Yeah, they're over on the floor right now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, we brought another shelving unit into the mix, and
It's a
things will get
constant
better.
state of
Yes.
rework. So we'll get
Wait,
there.
top 5 Darksiders, I only see 4. What?
Those aren't the actual top 5. Smart ass.
Oh.
That's just the preview picture that I put up there to kind of get you guys in the mood.
Yeah, it's getting you a little bit, a little movement. You will when you hear our list.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's Isaac being a smart ass in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
But welcome, Isaac. Good to see you.
So much smart assery going on in the fucking just the cantina in general with our again stratification of nerds, and we got our fantasy football. How you doing?
Yep.
And just some shit talking had happened, and some of it went awry for some people. I'm not going to name names, Keith, but it's just sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh man, or it's really bad when you're looking at the wrong fucking team. Anyway, got to say that for the permanent record.
Can you hit me with another?
Hells yeah.
We're getting crazy here tonight, guys. We're chugging Diet Cokes.
Up in this piece.
Hell yeah. So that's it for me for my week. No, there was one other thing. Oh yeah.
Oh.
49ers, last undefeated team in the NFL. So I just had to point that out. Thank you, Ravens, for beating the Patriots last night. Sorry, Kristen.
Whatever.
And yeah.
Hey, that was one of those where I still want to see the 49ers beat like a good team.
Right. Well, Seattle's going to be the test.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the big
I
test.
really feel like don't start sucking each other's dicks quite yet.
No, trust me. I think I've been pretty reasonable with how I feel about the team this year. Like, I know that most of the teams they've beaten up on are, the handicap class of the NFL, but
there seems to be a lot of that this year.
It does. But I'm still hopeful. They're playing Seattle at home on Monday night. Monday night football on in Berkshire. So it's gonna be great. I'm really excited. Get this fucking shit though.
I'm listening.
So you know how that little streaming service is coming out next week? What the fuck was it?
I don't know. Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
And they're having some special where if you get the Disney Plus, the fucking Hulu, and the ESPN Plus, you get it for all one package. It's like $14.99 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out the fucking day after this Monday Night Football game. So as of right now, I have no fucking way to watch the 49ers in Seattle because I don't have cable because I'm not a fucking schmuck. But
there's got to be a way.
Yeah. So I got to figure out a way to watch Monday Night Football the day before I'm about to subscribe to fucking ESPN Plus on as part of the
motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know, right?
You might have to go to a bar or something.
Maybe. Though, I mean, we'll be recording first. Maybe I'll just go to Iron Hill and watch it by myself. Drink beer.
It'll still be. They're still going to have it on Channel 6. Just need to get an antenna out.
I have an antenna. They don't put Monday Night Football games on.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it's ABC. Channel 6 is ABC. They're going to show the fucking game,
Well, but remember, Monday Night Football is ESPN now.
which is also Disney.
Right.
They're all Disney.
But they don't do it on ABC at
Yes,
the same
they
time.
do.
I don't believe it. I think they did it for the Eagles when they were
No,
playing.
no.
Can somebody in the chat confirm or deny these crazy allegations by Dave that Monday Night Football is now a simulcast on both ESPN and ABC?
On ABC, yes.
On ABC.
Absolutely. Do you think that they're going to lose all that fucking revenue for a Monday Night Football game to
That's
people?
what they've been doing for years.
It hasn't been that way. It has not been that way. Even the Thursday Night Football games, they realize they can't fucking do it that way.
Well, that's why you can watch it on fucking Amazon. That's how I watched
Yeah.
the Niners this last week. I pulled it up on fucking Amazon Prime.
Look, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to watch the game. Don't worry about it.
All right, we'll figure it out when the time comes. But
So, yeah, Solsky says the Niners lose the first round of the fucking playoffs.
fuck you. Yeah, who's your team again? Yeah.
Oh. His team is the Detroit fucking Dick Riders.
Oh, how they stopped the Raiders this weekend, right?
Oh,
Right? It was-
obliterated them, right?
Yeah, it was a bloodbath.
They had to.
Okay.
They had to have.
All right.
They had to have.
So anyway, that's my week. What do you got?
So, you're not going to talk about why you're going dry?
We'll figure that out some other time.
Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
you put it in the notes. So, fucking, I roll into this week with like, the week had passed me by and the weekend so quickly. I just, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden, boom.
It's my favorite quote from Not Another Teen Movie, by the way.
What's that?
Wham, bam, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, and that's basically right. So, let's see this statement here in the chat.
Dave is correct. Dave's always correct.
Factually correct.
Always right. He's
So-
always got to be right.
that therein lies the problem. So all of a sudden, like I can't even speak to what the fuck happened last week. You know, over the weekend I moved some furniture around that I shouldn't have, and now everything hurts. And, the usual Dave bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this morning I wake up and my note should have been was like fuck daylight savings time. Just get rid of it already. This is not the fucking 17th century. This is not like, oh, if we don't fucking get into the as soon as the sun rises, if we don't get into the fucking manufacturing area, we're not gonna have enough light to fucking sew or fucking weave cotton or some bullshit. Guess what? We have electricity. We can make it light whenever the fuck we want. We are not in a third world country. We do not need fucking daylight savings time at all. You know why? Because the fucking dogs, getting them in a different eating pattern based on the time of day. The puppy especially.
They don't fucking know.
No,
that it's an
they don't know. They don't fucking know. It's like, hey, whatever. I know that it's time for me to eat.
Yeah.
And now I had a fucking puppy standing on my fucking chest, be like, hey, motherfucker, I let you sleep till 4:30 this morning. You better get up and fucking feed me, or it's about to get fucking bad up in this piece.
Right.
So I fucking go down and feed them, and then come back and try to go back to sleep. Can't get a fucking shower, start my day going. And I take excessive showers. I do. Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
That's a story for another time.
I don't give a fuck. But I come out of the shower, go downstairs. I find a bag of fucking Hershey's chocolate, like, on one of the chairs in the family room. I'm like, oh, fuck me. Because there was leftover Halloween candy. I was going to take it to work and just dump it so that the people at work could have it.
Mm.
I have no idea how much was in this bag. I know it wasn't that much, like, chocolate in the bag. But there was, like, 2 wrappers out of this, like, however much could have been left. I'm like, fuck. And then there was, like, these little baggies that had, like, candies in it. So I'm like, fuck. Fucking dogs and chocolate. Apparently, chocolate is, like, I don't know, poison to fucking dogs.
Yeah.
So, freaking the fuck out. Wake up, Kathy. Like, I can't fucking stress about this by myself.
Mm.
So we start looking on the internet and then like realizing that like dark chocolate is actually like the worst. Like a small dog like Indy, like if it's a small dog like Indy gets hold of an ounce or so of chocolate, it could be very, very bad. If it's a Throbramine or something, like it's actually the poison in the cocoa. But like dark chocolate or baker's chocolate or something like that, if they get hold of that, it can really fuck them up.
Mm.
So my smallest dog weighs 45 pounds. That's the fucking old shithead.
Yeah.
And the puppy's like in the mid 70s, like weight wise. There's no way they had more than 3 ounces of chocolate, like in the worst estimate. So really, there wasn't a big deal. But it fucking started my day with my heart going, "Rah! We're going to the vet. We're going to have to spend $1 billion again. Fucking ridiculous." And I finally, Kathy got me calmed down to the point where I was like, all right, it's fine. It'll be fine. And we fucking went about my day. But that's how my day started. Like, like started with dog on chest. And maybe we're like controlling their diet, like how much we feed them.
Mm-hmm.
Like all 3 of them. It's like, all right, when they eat, it's like being in basic training. Like they're eating as fast as they possibly can. Oh my god, there's like fucking food flying everywhere. Like done. Not even a minute.
Yeah.
All 3 dogs are done their fucking food.
Mm.
And at that point, I'm like, they're just looking for shit to eat.
Right.
Which is why I'm buying deer antlers for the puppy anyway. It's like, here, chew on this, motherfucker. At least this will take you half a day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Huh.
Scott Rasmussen's in the chat talking about daylight saving.
Apparently they don't celebrate it in Arizona, so.
Oh, because they don't need to. Fact of the matter is, like, the premise of daylight savings was actually Ben Franklin back in the fucking day. And I get it. I understand why there was a need for it a fucking century ago.
Yeah.
In a week, we're going to be celebrating Armistice Day for the 100 years post World War I. 100 fucking years. I don't give a shit what the fucking lighting situation is in World War I. It was a century ago. For fuck's sake. Like, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Seriously. Stop changing the fucking clocks. I'm sure there's an entire fucking programming division of some fucking company somewhere is going to be like, no, this is our jobs. Which they've, like, it's like the guys that were around for the year 2000 fucking switch.
Oh, the Y2K?
Yeah, all the Y2K bullshit, like, which I was gainfully employed by when I put a disc in and fucking ran an exec bat file and put a sticker on it.
Mm-hmm.
Company made a fuck ton of money on that.
Nice.
Not that I saw.
Y2K compliant.
Exactly.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
an orange sticker that said Y2K compliant. Yeah, my ass smacked a lot of those stickers on a fucking bunch of machines that all I do is run one batch file.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
That's good shit, man.
just a horrific way to start my day. And it'll be same tomorrow. Get up stupid balls early, and I'll do my best to not get up and force them to acclimate.
Yeah.
But god damn it, man. Fuck daylight savings time.
All right.
We're arranging. We're like other shit for the weekend. I'm not even gonna talk about that stuff. But we'll get to the good stuff.
Ooh. Did you get more?
Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah, dude.
I'm pretty sure you said last week I have to stop with the.
Listen, Jason. No, there are too many. Like it's pop-tastic.
Yeah.
So this one is actually a very important one. Ooh, and this is the first time looking at it.
It came in a box. What's in the box?
I'm gonna go ahead and let you open that up.
All right. Man, this is exciting. Ooh, a nice addition to the Mandalorians. We got Sabine from Rebels fame. Walgreens exclusive. Apparently.
Masked. Walgreens exclusive masked Sabine.
Is
Apparently,
there
the regular Sabine wasn't. Like, you can get it unmasked and it's way more available.
Oh,
This one is not as much.
fucking sweet.
Yeah, so she is. We got yet another Mando helmet to go on the wall.
On the Sacred Jedi Pops.
I love it. That's fucking awesome. So, again, Tactical Swede is the reason.
He's the bad influence.
I would have never. It would have never have gotten to this level if it wasn't for him.
Right.
And he knows it. He admitted to it today. So, last week I think it was Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
He happened to be in GameStop and he found a pop. It was like, holy shit. Takes a picture of it, sends me, hey, do you want one of these? I'm like, yes. Yes is always going to be the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Goes up to check it out, and they're like, where did you get this? We're like, because when it rang out, it didn't show up on the system. He's like, where'd you get this? I was like, it was over on the shelf. They're like, these aren't supposed to go out till Saturday. So he pre-bought them and basically pre-ordered it, and we picked them up today. Excuse me. So,
all right, now I'm excited. What do we got? Ooh, a Purge Trooper. I believe this has got to be from the game, right?
Yeah, it's
from,
the
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep, it's from the Jedi Fallen Order game.
Yep. Oh, you can see on the back there.
Yep. Look,
Cal Kestis and the sister.
Look at the fucking sweet Empire emblem on the fucking sleeve of that dude.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we can get it on the camera.
It's like a white Empire emblem on it. Like, so we haven't been exposed to the Purge Trooper yet. When we get to the gameplay next week, we'll I'm sure we'll be all over it.
Yeah.
But I saw this, and then I saw the picture of it. Like, oh my god, it's a Funko Insider Club exclusive, and I just the Empire symbol so fucking perfect on that shoulder.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And we've got more from the game up there too, right? Yeah, you got the Inquisitor.
Yeah, we got the Second Sisters up there.
And did you get Cal Kestis for some reason?
I think so. This is bad, man. I need to have a Rolodex of all the fucking ones that we have. Anyway, so we're in there and to pick it up, and there was a guy picking up a bunch of stuff, so sniffing around, and I found this guy on the fucking shelf.
What the fuck? Ooh, a Knight of Ren.
So it is a Knight of Ren
with a blaster rifle.
Yeah, so and he's got a bunch of like scoring and stuff on the helmet. It's kind of plain as far as like pops go, but this is kind of like just a little glimpse of this. Obviously, this is for episode 9, and it's a glimpse into a part of episode 9 that we really don't know anything about.
No,
like
we know they're in it.
Yeah,
That's
we know there's some representation in Knights of Ren, but see you, Don.
Well,
we'll miss you.
Fuck Detroit.
Detroit Dick Riders.
Yeah.
Anyway, exclusive for the chat audience there. But yeah, so I was excited seeing a Knight of Ren with blaster rifle that no other description other than Knight of Ren. So I don't know if it's like released that way on purpose to not give anything away.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of this stuff is done in secrecy. It's like to protect any plot points in the fucking movie.
Has to be. But yeah, so there's like this one's a GameStop exclusive too, which we're like fuck, and thank God they had 2, so that way Nick can have one too. So yeah, we're super excited to have 3 more pops on the wall.
Bronco Fett says in the chat, Dave isn't addicted. He can stop anytime he wants.
I can stop anytime I want. I choose not to because quitting is for quitters.
Right. So that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, so I don't know why. Actually, it's obsessed with these fucking pops. They just make me so happy.
Yeah.
Like it is a very visceral and same thing with the Black Series figures.
Which I need to start working on that.
But see, you know what the difference is? I figured out the difference between a Black Series figure and these. I don't want to take this out and play with it. The whole presentation in the box and everything and the way it stacks so nicely. I want this thing in the box. Those motherfuckers, I want to take them out and play with them. I want to fucking put blasters in them. I want to take pictures like Bronco Fett does.
Yeah.
Like he has his little studio animation that he does with the fucking poses to characters and shit like that.
He did a good one today too.
Yeah, I saw that. I want to do that. And quiet, Scott. We don't need to talk about any more. I can stop whenever I want. And I choose not to.
Yeah, and yeah, you know what? Fucking, I'm just gonna give him a shout out. Follow TOMBUIR on Instagram. He posts all kinds of Star Wars figures and poses and whatnot.
Very cool. He's got a little box for taking the pictures, like with the lighting and stuff. Very, very cool. There's a lot of really good toyographers that are out there. Some of them. There was a story about the one guy. It was actually through StarWars.com. He would have stormtroopers in like poses in battles, famous battle scenes and pictures you've seen from the War on Terror.
Right.
And that was part of his like PTSD therapy was, posing the figures and and doing this. It was kind of an outlet for him. So, yeah. But these things are just
Things of beauty.
yeah.
Sorry, I got totally derailed by this. Somebody I follow on Instagram, see her tattoo with the Star Wars theme, and
I do. Yeah.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
So
Sorry,
squirrel. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's it for my week. Just fucking heart racing. Chocolate is bad.
So yeah,
Chocolate is bad for dogs.
Yeah. That story reminds me of this funny meme I saw years ago. It was like God talking to a dog, right?
Mhm.
He's like, "I will create you to be man's best friend," and the dog's like, "Wow, that's a little sexist, isn't it?" God's like, "No, it's," and the dog's just kind of looking at him, arms crossed. He's like, "You know what? Fuck it. You can't talk, and chocolate kills you."
That's a great meme.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And we do have Cal Kestis up there. He's number 337.
Nice. 37.
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, I think we're getting ready to get into the main topic. What do you say?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I think before we do that, we should just address one little issue that we have.
That's your little issue.
Damn it. I set myself up. All right. So, yes.
Haven't had one of those in a while.
Okay. Oh, man. See, you're missing all this if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel. So,
yeah, get on there.
Yes. Get on YouTube, search All Things Star Wars, subscribe to us. In the meantime, we're going to take a very quick break, and we will be right back after this word from our sponsors.
I can't. It's so bad. Oh God. Please, all of you. I don't care what you do. Like, I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna log in and put all the money towards the lack of snaps after the holidays, because I've got wreaths to buy and fucking pops. Apparently, we're gonna put these on the shelf right now. We're gonna do it. So let's see. Put you over here. I think they got to go in number order, right? We got to do that. We got to put it in number order at some point. This fucking purge trooper is the tits. We're gonna put him over here. There's also a Darth Maul that we're missing that I'm gonna have to get. We're gonna put Sabine right here, and voila. That is pretty much. I just realized that you sat the Emperor on Luke's back like that. That's fucking hilarious.
All right. You gotta go? Or are you good?
No, I'm good.
All right, then we will just jump right back into it.
We doing 30?
C.
3PO.
And starting now. And we're back! So, main topic today, talking about our top 5 Sith Lords. This was a Patreon selected topic from Shotgun Mark, our #1 supporter. So, thank you, Mark. And we're kind of doing a variation on this. You alright over there, Dave? Everything? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just gonna hold this for a little bit.
Camille, I think that's going to be the last of the snaps for this episode. Thank you for your support. So, for criteria for this, I mean, I did this pretty loose. Like, I'm not going by, like, the top 5 strongest or the top 5, like, you know, most powerful or whatever.
Right.
I'll tell you basically what I used. I did attributes that kind of make them stand out from the rest of your run-of-the-mill Sith Lords. How are they better than traditional Sith Lords? And then a little bit of, like, how powerful they are. And then just my own personal likes and dislikes. So that's kind of how I did this rank.
Well, so it's almost like likes and dislikes for me is probably just solely what I went by,
Right.
like criterion wise, because we didn't really.
Well, yeah, we didn't define it going into this, and you know, I think that's kind of part of the fun of this too, because we both went by our own criteria, and
Right.
it'll make for some interesting topic discussion, I'm sure.
Indeed.
But and I think I'm gonna get some heat for at least my number 5. So I think we should just get right into it.
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So my number 5, Darth Vader.
Okay.
So you might ask yourself, why not higher? Well, honestly, he never quite reached his full potential. You know, when he was Anakin Skywalker, super powerful in the Force, but you know, he was still learning and everything. Palpatine gets to him, gets him to turn to the dark side, and just as he's about to like really start going balls deep into the dark side, fucking Obi-Wan cuts off all of his limbs and burns the shit out of him, and he kind of becomes a shell of the person he was. In addition
Almost literally.
yeah. In addition to that, never really had control of his emotions. Too invested in these fucking broads in his life, and never really focused his power, and he let that stuff distract him from becoming the ultimate Jedi and or Sith that he could have been.
So I'm going to present this argument right away. When we're defining a Sith, wouldn't you say that for somebody like Anakin Skywalker, that lack of control of emotion makes him more of a dark side user? Because using that compassion and everything else, that's what fueled him. That all the other things that were around him, he used that passion and that I don't know, je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, well, I mean, peace is a lie. There is only passion.
This is true. So if anything, maybe that makes him more leaning towards dark side. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like, he never really presents himself as the ultimate power in the universe.
He didn't present himself, but like everybody around him built him up to be it the Jedi or fucking Palpatine. They're like, this guy is going to be the fucking greatest. Even Palpatine said it to Yoda. You know, Darth Vader will become more powerful than either of us. So like everybody had these expectations, right? What have we always said on this podcast? Manage your expectations.
Which, what do we never do on this podcast?
Manage our
expectations.
So
is there a movie going to come out real here soon that real here soon? Wow.
English,
motherfucker. Do you speak it?
So you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, he really, obviously he's a powerful character, powerful in the dark side and the light side. An argument could be made for him being the number 1, but I feel like he never truly reached that potential. Barring the scene from the end of Rogue One, where he's just like beating the shit out of fools on fucking that rebel ship, you don't really see much out of fucking Darkseid. But yeah, he uses the fucking Force to choke people or whatnot, but you don't really see much of a display of power. And again, his emotions never really let him go all the way into being a Jedi or a Sith, because it was eventually his emotions that took him away from the Sith path to kill Palpatine and, you know, be, oh, I love my son. So, yeah, lots of potential there, just never really lived up to the hype.
I feel you.
So that was my number 5. So what you got?
So my number 5, I believe you already hit on the fact that we're not just doing, this isn't just solely based on the canon. We're also bringing some legend stuff into this. Because to be honest, I think that the books that were produced and the stories that were produced in the Legends material, I think, manifest a lot of the things in the Force just in general better, whether they be dark side or light side. So you're going to come to, like, for my list, there's going to be a lot of influence in Legends material.
Sure.
Because there was a lot of it. There was a lot of material.
I've got Legends in mine as well. So
and I think we both of us knew going into this that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
So
because quite frankly, if you go just by current canon, there's not much of the Sith out there.
No,
quite frankly,
there's you got a couple of instances where you actually see representatives of the Sith.
Yeah.
And it's just not there. I'm looking for something in particular and I can't find it. So
yeah. My
number 5 is Ship. I don't know if you remember Ship from The Lost Tribe of the Sith. He's in it is prevalent in some of the later trilogies, Fate of the Jedi, like those they're not trilogies, but that book series.
Yeah.
There was something about the personality, and it's a pure dark side entity.
Yeah.
Like it is powered by the dark side. It has its own fucking attitude. It's a go fuck yourself attitude. Dark side, it will interact with dark side Force users.
Yeah.
And whether they're not necessarily just Sith lords, but we know that Ship, based on the Legends material, Ship was really involved in moving the tribe of the Sith to to where it ends up from there.
Right.
I don't want to get in that level of detail, but when you're talking about something, it's not a Dark Lord of the Sith or anything else, but with that history, you have this you can quite easily believe that you would have like this energy entity that is kind of looks like a TIE fighter. Maybe that's why I'm attracted to it. I don't know. Talk about obsessions. But the few pictures that are drawn up of it. But I just remembering from all those stories, and Ship plays an integral role with the Aboleth storyline and moving around for the Lost Tribe of the Sith. So, and there's instances where some other characters use Ship to defend themselves. So, if you're not familiar with it, give yourself a search on Wikipedia. Look for Ship, Lost Tribe of the Sith, things like that. You can kind of read about the story. That Lost Tribe of the Sith series is actually very, very good.
Right, and that was I don't think that was Drew Karpyshyn that wrote that, but it came out around the same time.
Yeah.
As his books, but ultimately the storyline was great, and then the way they integrated it into like current time, Star Wars timeline, again, Legends we're talking.
Right.
But the way that story kind of flowed into that was brilliant. I thought it was a great way to do that, and that's something they could still do in current canon. I don't know if they would, but I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, So Isaac getting some love for Ship.
Yeah, he nerded out when you said that.
Yeah, again, that's kind of it's a deep reach for Star Wars stuff into the Legends material, but it's one of the characters I enjoyed from those times.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5.
Very good. What about your number 4?
My number 4 is Darth Bane.
Okay.
So we've talked at length about Darth Bane, the influencer of the Rule of Two, whatever that's supposed to fucking mean. Mm-hmm. Because what's the number one rule of fucking the Rule of Two? Is to have more than fucking two. Like that, it's. Excuse me. Bane's power and how he used it in the Force, just the raw power of what he did, how ethereal he was about learning all these things about the Force, trying to basically integrate everything he possibly could about the dark side and compact it into this Rule of Two idea. Not necessarily a rule of law, more like a guideline to help the Sith exist in perpetuity.
The concept was good, right? It's, as opposed to like a bunch of shitty Sith ganging up on the one powerful leader, there's only two. And when the apprentice was more powerful than the master, they would then defeat them and then take over.
And in the meantime, that potential new master would already have an apprentice identified.
Right.
It wouldn't be like, it's almost like, hey, I'm getting ready to have my own fucking apprentice. Let me go find some other Force user, some dark side user. Yeah. And then I said a lot of words, fucking out of order, but yeah, conceptually, Bane's manipulation of the Force, the holocron, the fact that he is canon now because of the Rebel series, was Rebels, right? No, it was Clone Wars. Sorry, because he's part of the canon. We don't, obviously, not the entire story has made it into the canon, but just the fact that he exists just makes him. He has to be in the top 5. Sure, especially solely based on the holocrons and the seeking of the knowledge in the holocrons. So he's my number 4.
All right, I like it. So my number 4 is Count Dooku.
Really?
This was a character that I actually didn't really care for that much back in the day, but as we've gone along, and especially with the Dooku Jedi Lost book, I gain a lot more respect for him for that. He what did I put here? He's far more compelling than Vader as just a character, I think. Okay. Because there's really not much behind Vader. You go to Anakin and his problems. But I love the idea of him being somebody who was born into nobility, but then cast aside by his family to the Jedi, and then growing up as a Jedi, eventually realizing these guys are fucked up, going back to his noble life, and then eventually, which we never really got too many of the details, but somehow goes
to the dark side,
Right.
and then becomes part of this grand plan with Palpatine. Unfortunately, he kind of went out like a bitch at the end, but I think his character and I like him. I like Dooku a lot more with some of the stuff they've done.
So while Dooku, I think, is a student of some dark side material, I don't think he ever goes fully over.
No, I wouldn't consider him a Sith at all.
No, at all. Like,
Yeah.
and quite frankly, he had his own reasons for going to the dark side.
Yeah.
Whether he truly believed that or he was just manipulated by Palpatine.
Yeah.
I think the reality is, Dooku had some Force knowledge that would be lean itself towards the dark side. Had real just issues with how the Jedi did their business. Never truly revoked the Jedi Order.
Right.
Like his job was to be the opposite, to fight what he believed was what the Jedi were missing.
Mm.
You know, in this galactic conflict that's about to happen. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, quite frankly, I think Dooku was a bitch character. I think that you take somebody like that, and it's like the whole nobility aspect of it is like makes it worse to me, because it's, you know, all right, you're going to err on the side of neutrality, and instead of just completely renouncing the Jedi Order and just standing there saying I am an enemy of the Jedi were like, yeah, he just kind of stepped away.
Yeah.
He's just going to fade away, right? And so he was never really an enemy. He was fucking manipulated by Palpatine through its entirety. He fucking wasted Ventress, like, and he was a bitch. He was a bitch character. I think he held Ventress back to what Ventress should have been a much bigger part of this story. And I don't think if he really aspired, he never aspired in the true energy or the true version of the dark side. He never aspired to take over from Palpatine.
No,
He
which
was
is why I
content
never really
with
considered
being
him a Sith.
Yeah, he was content to be Palpatine's bitch.
Yeah.
And like we'll talk about it some more later, I think, but yeah, Dooku I don't think would have made my top 15.
Wow. Okay. Maybe it's just because I still have the Jedi Lost on the brain.
And you're wrong, but it's okay. You can be wrong.
All right.
This is not a right or wrong thing. This is
No.
like you said, this is based on your opinion.
Sure.
I agree with Bronco Fett. Dooku is a spoiled fancy boy.
Wow. Okay. So
The
my number
capes.
3,
He had capes.
also Darth Bane.
Yes.
So I kind of put like he was the badass Sith, you know?
Mhm.
He was the guy who fucking annihilated the entire Sith order at that point. We get into it in detail in the Dooku books. I mean, he was motivated.
In the Bane books.
Yeah. What did I say?
Excuse me. Dooku.
Oh, right.
You still got a hard on for fucking Dooku.
You know,
Is it something about what's his name? The guy who plays it?
Christopher Lee?
Yeah, Christopher Lee. Do you get? Is there movement when you see him?
Maybe a little bit.
Is it something with the beard?
He's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But
Is he an attractive man?
or was? Well, he's
He
probably
has since passed.
yeah. He's probably already in a state of decay if they didn't cremate him. But anyway, Darth Bane was motivated, unstoppable. I put brutal, clever, powerful. He destroyed the entire Sith Order, which was the start, the seeds being planted for Palpatine eventually exterminating the Jedi Order, right? That all started with fucking Bane and his things. The problem is, the reason why he's not higher is ultimately he didn't follow his own rule.
All right.
You know, he's created this rule. He's like, one day Zana will overtake me, and he's like, she's not
she's
worthy.
kind of a bitch.
Yeah, she's not worthy. I'm
Well.
just gonna make myself immortal, and then then I'll just be the one. It'll be the rule of one.
And because at the end of the series, you don't know 100% does he exist in some form or fashion once they do. Spoiler alert! If you didn't read the Bane books,
Or listen to the podcast.
But when he melds and she walks away from that excursion,
Yeah.
with probably some part of him, but there's that green fucking bug again.
Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Why is it green?
It's a weird green too. Like fucking radiation lives down by the tracks. Fucking
Or here in the studio.
what would make it that green? It's like Green Lantern green.
That's crazy.
Like really weird. Keep it over on your side. Anyway, what?
Yeah. So yeah, Bane ultimately a victim of his own ambitions.
Definitely super super powerful, badass. But yeah,
All right. So you're number 3.
my number 3 is Darth Sidious.
Okay.
It's Emperor Palpatine.
Wow.
It's my
okay.
number 3.
All right.
So what we have with Palpatine is an expert at manipulation,
Mhm.
right? We get a glimpse into his abilities as a Force user with a quick battle with Windu, right? Which obviously was staged. I mean, he probably could have had done battle and ultimately won using,
right.
but
Well, and and that's the thing. Like, I think we've kind of briefly touched on this here and there. Like, could he have just like wiped the floor with Mace Windu, but he was waiting to put on that
yeah,
show for
no,
Anakin.
it was all a show.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with Palpatine, like that operatic thing that we see in Episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, that whole fucking shooting match. That's the essence of Palpatine.
Right.
That is the essence of who he is. It's about the manipulations, about the drama. Look at this play I'm performing, right?
Mhm.
So his coming back in Episode 9, the setup of all these things, he manipulated those things and put them in motion. So he's obviously an expert in using the Force to that end.
Yeah.
But as a strategist and everything else, he is fatally flawed because he is a product of his own dementia. Like he is so ripe with power that, and the understanding of whatever it is that he's trying to attain, that he uses that, and it's a weakness for him that he doesn't see. Like all the times that
like
he's,
we were saying with Bane, where it's like
Yeah.
he became so obsessed with his own.
right, and I think that I think if he had gone forth, like we see it in the Rebels, when Ezra goes into, they're in that inner dimension and Ahsoka is found and
Yeah.
that shit and all that's happening. Palpatine's obviously not strong enough in the Force to be able to. He needs people to do these things. He can't do those things himself, so he's got to manipulate other things to happen. He has to make the chosen one, right? That's his
Right.
purpose, is to make the chosen one.
Yeah.
To make it more like I really think of it like the Matrix. Like you have the one, right?
Right.
So Palpatine, like he has to set these things in motion and say, okay, this is going to be the chosen one because he's going to be able to do things that I can't do,
Right.
and in this form. So he's a master manipulator. Probably as far as the Sith Lords themselves, I mean, he's obviously up there. But as just a straight, powerful fucking, like, I can take this on myself, I think he's weak. There's no fucking way that Vader throwing him into the fucking pit of despair is that part of the plan. Like, there's no way when you're fucking shocking the shit out of the fucking Luke that, like, okay, cue Vader throwing me into the fucking pit. No, there's no way it's part of that fucking plan.
Yeah.
Because he's so, like, there's a short-sightedness to it. And you have to embrace, I think, both sides of the Force to really be powerful in it. And I think the more powerful the Sith or the dark side user has an understanding of what it is to, like, be a Jedi, and that's going to be a theme for my top 2.
Okay.
You're going to see that it's like you have to understand what good is to fucking be bad.
Oh. Okay.
And you don't get that with Palpatine. All straight from the fucking jump with Palpatine, it's like, all right, I'm moving my chess pieces in place.
Okay.
So
All right. So that was your number 3.
that's my number 3.
All right, so your number 2.
My number 2 is a character from Legends,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Solo.
Oh.
So Jason Solo is one of those souls, kind of a lost soul that, in search of his meaning, his purpose in the Force and everything else, coming out of Uncle Luke's fucking Jedi Academy, knowing the backstory of with Mara Jade as the Emperor's hand, going and visiting all the places that Luke had visited to try and figure out and understand what his purpose was. He gained all this knowledge in the Force, had incredible fucking abilities in the Force, could do everything, to do the fucking the battle. What the fuck did they call it? Bronco Fett. Somebody help me out.
Battle meditation.
Yeah, to do that battle meditation where he could fucking do have all those pieces moving, fucking do all that shit. He could flow walk. He could, his engagements with the Abeloth and all this other thing. He had probably one of the best from the material, Darth Caedus. Yeah, he had the exposure and the knowledge of being part of that Skywalker family, being part of that lineage, and having such a huge power base, but knowing that his part of it was to be on the other side of it. It's like, you know what? These fucking rebels, my parents, all these things, that's not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be controlling this thing. I have to save everybody by controlling this because I know better than they do.
Right.
This is very Dave-ish, right? It's like, I know better than you do, so fucking I'm going to just take over and fucking manipulate shit the way I want it to go because this is the way it's supposed to go. And that's what you get with Jason Solo, with Darth Caedus. It's that I have been and exposed myself to everything there is to that we can possibly know in the Force, and wields the fucking power. Does it in all those Legends books. Like, he fucking goes out there, and it takes his fucking sister, his twin sister, to take him out ultimately.
Yeah.
Which, oh, by the way, spoiler alert, he really fucking kills himself. He kind of falls on her sword at the end of the day.
Right.
So, yeah, Jason Solo to me is one of the epitome of coming from a place of the light and wielding that knowledge and the fucking dark side to kick ass.
Nice. I like it. So, my number 2. So remember, my number 3 was Darth Bane.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2, Zana.
Okay.
You know, I picked her because she's very unique. She's the first and probably the only Star Wars character that we'll ever see who kind of uses her sexuality in addition to her Force abilities to kind of manipulate people and get what she wants. Like, we were,
right,
you know, led to believe she was extremely beautiful. And at the start of the third Bane book, second or third? I think it might have been the second.
Right.
Anyway, she was like boning some dude that she was like getting to manipulate to do some sort of fucking like bombing, some like fucking separatist like terror attack.
I forget which book that was.
That was the second or third one. Kind of one second, but anyway. Yeah, and obviously she was very strong in the Force, but she had very different powers from Bane. You know, she had the more telekinesis,
right?
And you know, she was like stronger in the lightning and the fucking the weird like Force fucking possession and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, she kicked the shit out of Bane. So it was a pretty tough battle, and at the end, she was the one who stood tall. I don't think that Bane, you know, like a major part of him existed in her after the battle. But yeah, she was a very unique character, and again, I think like the whole using her her powers of sexuality as a woman, that's something we'll probably never see again in Star Wars because of the Disney ownership and everything else.
Well, you get hints of it with Ventress, like the flirting between her and Kenobi and stuff like that. But that's obviously, dude, I don't know. You say that, but we have in the animated series, we have like Twi'leks being represented as more sexual characters. You have, I don't think that book's completely closed. Fact is, I'm willing to bet. Look at this little fucker. I'm willing to bet that.
Flick him on me.
Choo! It just fucking flew off. He's like, fuck your flick.
He's got that radioactive in him. So if I get bitten by that thing, do I become like a radioactive stink man?
If that happens, I will probably smush you. I'm like, awful. I'm just going to go ahead and kill that.
Yeah. Because
it's probably suffering terribly. So I'll be doing you a favor.
Right. Anyway, we were talking about Zana. You don't think the book's closed on that? I guess talking about whether or not Bane... I think that... Yeah, I forget where I was going with that, to be honest. But we got distracted by the radioactive
by
stink
fucking...
bug.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so on to my number 1, because we've already done your 2, right?
Okay.
So we're going to do my number 1 first, and that is... there's no way you couldn't have guessed this. Fucking Palpatine.
Right.
He's, to me, he's really my favorite character in all of Star Wars. I think at this point, we gotta see what they do with him in Rise of Skywalker, but he's one of the few characters that Disney has actually done a service to since taking over the canon. Like, before, when it was Lucas, he was just the big bad guy. Yeah, manipulated his way through the Senate, helped destroy the Jedi and all that, but that was it. Just, you know, Vader into the pit, whatever.
Right.
You know, it wasn't until the Disney buyout and we got the new canon that they started expanding on his master plan. You know,
Right.
the manipulations that go beyond fucking Anakin Skywalker. The you know, including Thrawn and mapping out the fucking unknown regions, obviously with the whole First Order thing.
Right.
We don't know how all of that's going to unfold, but it just goes to show that he had a grander plan than just fucking Anakin's going to be my apprentice. We're going to fucking rule the world together. Blah 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 blah. So I love the fact that he is painted as this master manipulator, like super force visions to help him see into the future, see all these different possibilities and everything. Insanely powerful with the force. Like, I don't know if I agree with your take on it, where he can't do everything himself. He's got to like use other people to get what he wants. Which, I mean, to an extent, that's true. Only just through logistics. Like, obviously, he's not going to fight a whole civil war by himself. Hence, you know, he's got to get the fucking Trade Federation involved and all this other shit.
Right.
Like, obviously, that kind of stuff he can't do by himself. But like his force powers, I think, are unmatched.
Yeah, so I started out this list with Palpatine at the top of it, and then I found ways to move him down. And one of those things specifically was compared to Jason Solo, right? To Darth Caedus. You have not only did he learn so many other force abilities, like he actively went out there to learn those force abilities, and we don't know what fucking Palpatine did leading into this, but you can only live so much of a double life, right? You can't be going out to the unknown regions for fucking years and on end while you're a fucking senator. Like, you have places to be.
Sure.
Unless you cloned a bunch of people and fucking had them do that shit, which is entirely plausible. But
Michael Keaton did it in Multiplicity.
Yeah.
So
it can absolutely happen. But I think things like being able to control the battle, like, was there enough of a reason to fucking have the first Death Star destroyed as part of the master plan? I don't think there was.
Right.
I think that he had his, like, okay, these concurrent things are going to happen, and I have plan A and plan B. Right? He had all these extra plans because he couldn't do those things.
Right.
Whereas Jason Solo is like, oh, we're going to win this fucking battle because I'm going to get in every one of these motherfuckers' heads and use the force to fucking encourage them to fucking basically fly their own spacecraft into fucking kamikaze fucking destroyers, Star Destroyers and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, Jason Solo had that ability.
Yeah.
So if Palpatine had that ability in the Force, why didn't he fucking use it? Like, he used his powers of manipulation not to, like, manipulate your mind directly. He used it to subtly do it, like, make you believe it's your own idea. And he is insanely powerful. The fact that he's basically, aside from stupid goldenrod, you know, he's basically has a presence in every one of these movies. There's some foundational part of Palpatine in everything that's going on here. Maybe Palpatine's the original Skywalker.
Yeah, maybe. And, you know, my last note on here was
The Rise of Skywalker. Maybe they're talking about Palpatine.
Ooh.
Write that shit down, kids.
Oh man, that's good shit. But you know, obviously we talked about this before. He was operating right under the Jedi's fucking noses the entire time, and they never sensed a goddamn thing. That, I think, is probably the most impressive of all of his feats. It's just the fact that he did all of his business with the Jedi right there in his fucking office.
Yeah, he had them so fucking snowed.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I like Bronco Fett's idea in the chat. In the end, Palpatine turned to the light side and became a buck naked Force ghost.
Why is he gotta be naked?
Remember in the Robot Chicken, like, he gets shot out into space. He's like, and he's naked, and then the Falcon hits him.
Yeah, I
And
don't remember the
it hit
naked
him with the
part.
wipers. Yeah, he was naked in it. They had the fucking it pixeled out for his junk.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
remember.
totally there.
Okay.
We haven't done. I don't think we've done all of the fucking Robot
No,
Chicken
we
stuff.
have. Yeah,
All of them?
We did all three of them in one episode.
We probably did a disservice, but those were the days. All right,
I
so
think it was like a 2 hour and 45-minute episode too.
Probably.
Back when we used to do long episodes of the show.
yeah, we've streamlined it a bit.
Yeah. So all right, getting to your number one.
All right, so yielding to Sidious as the number one. Like I said, I started with him as my number one. Fact is, I was going to put it out there as like, hey, Sidious probably should be eliminated from the list because he's obvious.
Yeah.
But I found reasons to knock him down a couple pegs.
Okay.
My number one is Vader.
Okay.
So I played along with your explanations and whatever. There is no other Sith that we see fucking be a bigger badass on the screen than fucking Darth Vader. I will point solely to that fucking 40 seconds in Rogue One
Yeah.
where this motherfucker is so pissed off that he is throwing people up all over the fucking thing. It is what Rogue One did for us is show what Vader is capable of.
Yeah.
When you think about all the storylines and Vader and Anakin, I mean, he's a product of fucking Sidious, right?
Yeah.
And he is the chosen one.
Right.
But to do that, he's using that, the conflict with Padme and creating the twins and just it was always in turmoil and using that turmoil and internalizing it. Like his goal was to fucking overthrow Palpatine.
Right.
We know that from the comics and fucking all this canon that Vader's fucking ultimate goal was to unseat this motherfucker. Like it's this motherfucker's fault that I am the way I am. So fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And ultimately he beats Palpatine. Like as far as we can tell.
Sure.
And whatever. I mean, like you said, we have this element of the Palpatine exists.
Yeah.
But based on Return of the Jedi shit, that's like Vader's like ultimately uses every bit of his power, and it has nothing to do with him fucking turning to the light side. That's why he can fucking do him. No, it's him being fucking fuck this motherfucker and fucking throws his fucking shocking ass off the fucking cliff into the pit of despair. Vader was a field general. He would take troops into battle. He'd win over those fucking troops. All those fucking stormtroopers and the 501st and all those fucking elite troopers. Yeah. They all fucking went into battle to die at the fucking for Vader. Yeah. And again, think of the comics. Think of all the stuff that we see fucking Vader like strolling into some place. Like, oh, I'm gonna pull this motherfucking starship out of the fucking space and land it on this motherfucker. Like he had such command of the Force. It really, in my head, I keep factoring in as the one, right? When you're in the Matrix, when you fucking have such a power of the Force that you could do whatever the fuck you want in it, right? And without even realizing I don't think he ever truly realized how powerful he was because he was so busy trying to enact revenge for the death of Padme, because that was the driver, right?
Right,
so,
which I still consider to be a flaw. Like his fixation on her and on that.
But that flaw ultimately made him powerful enough to defeat in what way we know in canon right now to defeat Palpatine.
Yeah.
And it was, hey, I'm gonna keep this side business open and fucking have Afra and the other two, the bad robots, fucking go after and do these side projects for me. You're going to have this fucking going. You have this going. He had all kinds of shit going underneath Palpatine's fucking nose as well. And oh, by the way, still fucking prostrated himself enough. Palpatine knew that fucking Vader at any one point could fucking be like, I'm tired of your shit, bitch. And fucking end him. He knew he could do it. Palpatine had to use manipulation and Vader was like, it's not time yet. I'm fucking waiting for the right time.
Well, I think part of it, though, is Palpatine had the suit kind of made so that his Force lightning would kind of keep Vader at bay as well. Because we saw a little bit of that in the comics.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, he's obviously, because he's biomechanical, there is some limitation in that. But let's face it, there was parts in the comics where we saw fucking Vader as just Force energy without the fucking suit. Yeah. Just be like, I'm fucking energy being, and I'm just gonna fucking walk in here and do some shit. Like, that was, to me, the epitome of like this is a bad motherfucker, right? He's got the fucking belt. He's got the bad motherfucker belt, and for me, it was the one scene. I keep coming back to that one scene in Rogue One, despite all the other things, despite being the chosen one, all other shit. This motherfucker walks down the hallway and is like, nope, you're fucking dead. You're dead. Fucking this, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the, aside from the Darth Maul scene, one of the best representations of seeing what a true Dark Lord of the Sith could wield with his fucking power.
Yeah, it's a shame it took us 8 movies to get to that point.
True. And probably a lot of that has to do with the technology and everything else. But, before that we had fucking, you know, a sword fight and fucking and then a pile of clothes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh no, it's Obi-Wan. I just struck him down.
Yeah.
Like,
So I actually have an honorable mention. I don't know if you do as well.
I
But
do.
I definitely wanted to bring this one up. He probably should have made my list, and that was Starkiller from the Force Unleashed games.
Okay.
The reason I bring him up is because, spoiler alert if you haven't played the game, he eventually turns to the light.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes a good guy, and you know, meets up with that fucking blind Jedi, and like helps like build the rebellion. While you're the good side of him, you're still using all your fucking dark side powers.
Mm-hmm.
You're still killing motherfuckers with force lightning, fucking force choking motherfuckers, doing all of the same dark side shit. You still got your red lightsaber, for crying out loud. That's a unique element that I wish that they would explore more in this universe. Where is somebody going possibly from the dark to the light, but still utilizing their fucking powers that are considered to be dark side. Be it fucking force lightning or choking or anything else. Or just somebody who's a fucking Jedi or a light side person. Just one day. Like, I'd love it if Rey just one day in fucking Rise of Skywalker is just like, you know what, motherfucker? And just fucking shocks the shit out of, like, Palpatine or Kylo Ren or something.
Yep. Well, along that same ilk, I'd put Revan in that same category. You have somebody that straddled both sides of the dark and the light.
Yeah.
Probably was much, much stronger. When he comes back from the dark to the light, without using that the dark side, never as powerful as he was.
Yeah.
Ultimately, shit, we could put Yoda at the top of this, right? I posted something in the cantina today about, you know, Yoda. What we see Yoda in Empire, he's like, oh, I'm a fun guy, you know, like playing with R2 and shit like that. And then, but in episode 3, it's like, oh, I do backflips and fucking, you know, basically commit war crimes, because he is the ultimate. Without Yoda, does all of Palpatine's shit work? Without Yoda, like, controlling what's going on in the Jedi Council and leading them into, like, oh, well, no, this is how we should think about this.
Yeah.
We see it in a Dooku book. We see it in a Master Commander book. We see the weakness of the Jedi is the belly button of that is fucking Yoda. So is Yoda probably just by the nature of how he is, and like it's one of those things where like, all right, we're gonna let this corrupt dude get into fucking power because he thinks the way we want him to think.
Yeah.
We're gonna let him get to the point so that I can fucking snow everyone else, because Yoda's gonna be like, yeah, no, there's no fucking dark side. Like, there's no Sith. I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Like, there's no.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, no attachments, no fucking, don't do anything that may potentially make you more powerful, because that's the path to the dark side. Or that's the path to be more powerful.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, every single engagement that we see with characters that grow in power, Luke especially, like, it's a visceral thing. Him coming back in Return of the Jedi wearing all fucking black.
Yeah.
Just fucking, like, choking fucking Gamorrean guards.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, that's a Jedi thing to do. Let me fucking get over there. Doesn't choke him to death, we don't think.
Right.
But, and, you know, fuck the Rancor, too. You know, it's... If you, without using the dark side, without using the passion, then yes, it leads to a path to the dark side, but you have to use that.
Yeah, that's a lot of people think that's how he was able to overtake Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. Like, he struck out with his fucking anger and
fuck
his
yeah,
rage.
he does. It's like, it's like on his face. Like, you can't, in order to defeat, like, you become somewhat of what you're trying to be better than. Words, English words, but you know, in order to defeat an enemy, you have to become part of that enemy. Yeah. To better understand them, and then you can defeat them. But unfortunately, you've gotten a little bit of that on you, like, and you can't shake that. Like, all right, I need to use some dark side to fucking beat this guy, but I'm gonna have a little bit of dark side left on me. That's gonna stain.
Yeah.
Like, there's no OxyClean that's gonna get that the fuck off of you. So, and this is how you got to that position, and. Like I said, you can go into a lot of different characters and say, like, okay, that was the dark side that helped him fucking get to where he is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily... the only thing that makes it wrong is Yoda.
Right, yeah.
The only thing...
The dogmatic narrow view of the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Or of Yoda and pushing that on a Jedi.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about it that way. to be continued for another time. But yeah, I think that's an interesting avenue to explore at some point. So anyway, that's really our list. So what did you guys think? How does your list compare to ours?
Isaac Sipe had posted Jaden Core, which I'd have to
research would have to happen.
I'd have to Google that. That name doesn't come right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Shit. What's Ben's favorite? Malgus?
Oh,
or
no,
was that
was
Rob's?
Rob. Yeah,
Rob's?
yeah.
Darth
my
Malgus?
son Rob said Darth Malgus is his person
From the Old Republic.
Yeah.
From the game.
Yep.
Jaden Core. Man, now I'm curious.
But anyway, so moving on. Next week we are definitely doing Resistance Reborn, right?
Mhm.
That's the name of it, right? Resistance Reborn.
Yeah.
So apparently we're both going to be doing the audiobook. So if you don't want to be spoiled on the book, if you're not going to be able to have it done by next week, which will probably be on Veterans Day when we record that episode,
Right.
then I guess don't listen to the podcast next week.
Well,
or
believe
read
me,
faster.
We'll have do your best to read it. I mean, however, we're going to strike while the iron's hot because there is so much fucking shit coming out.
We have to. Like, if we don't do it within this next week, we'll never get to it.
Yeah, because we have. I took the 15th off
Did you?
to play the game. Yeah, I put in a PTO.
Is that when it comes out, the 15th? I thought it was the same day as the streaming service.
Oh, shit, it might be, but I took the 15th off. That's I'll probably have it beaten by then, but I'm taking the day off anyway because fuck, I needed to have days off.
All right, somebody in the chat help us out. What day does it come out?
It might be the 12th. I don't. What the fuck? What do I know?
I ask myself that every day. What do you know?
What do I know?
Yeah, you.
As I constantly show you how wrong you are. I mean,
I'm never wrong. How dare you?
It's got to get old at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to get old. I know it gets old for my wife.
November 15th. Fuck you. So, anyway.
So I took the 15th off.
Yeah. So the golden flow of Star Wars is about to start.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna have it all over us. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good.
Starting next week with Resistance Reborn, rolling right into both The Mandalorian and fucking Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
Probably in that order. We'll probably review The Mandalorian first, then Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep. Because I'm still really excited for The Mandalorian.
Oh god, yes.
There was a little bit of on StarWars.com today. There was a little expose on one of the characters that's in The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to read it because I was busy.
Yeah.
Fucking off. But
which by the way, I know we've mentioned this before. We may have to adjust recording schedules for the first couple weeks of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Just to get it out in a timely manner,
yeah.
Unlike my normal podcast posting, that we actually do want to get the Mandalorian reviews out there.
Yeah, we'll
on time for people to listen to.
We'll figure that out. Honestly, I just wanted to get here. Yeah. I want the movie to get here so bad. Talking to Big Sweet about it today at work, like having our own. Maybe it'd be worth trying to do our own some kind of marathon. I know that's 6 movies on the fucking screen at once. I will fucking slit my own throat. Like it's synced up for like the first 15 seconds. Like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then as soon as shit starts happening, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
for some context, so Bronco Fett posted this video.
Was it Bronco Fett or Orange Jacket Man? One of the Fetts.
Yeah, one of the Fett brothers posted in the private Facebook group. Somebody did a mashup of the first 6 Star Wars movies, the prequels and the original trilogy, and put them in like 6 different boxes on one screen. Played them simultaneously, all started right from the fucking fanfare and the opening crawl, and they're all 6 playing simultaneous. You can hear the audio from all 6. So it's like this is how you can watch all 6 movies in a marathon and get caught up
in 2 hours and 21 minutes.
Yeah, and I watched it for like 20 seconds, and I'm like, holy shit!
It was just too much, man.
Yeah.
As somebody who, like both of us as aviators, we have to be able to do so many things at once and listen to so many things at once. I would go fucking insane. Like you want to see me go nuts, put me in a fucking box and fucking play that. And I will slowly just go fucking Alfred Hitchcock, like murderously insane.
Yeah.
It's just overload. It just really is. And especially because I've seen all 6 of those. I could probably say the lines out of all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And to have all that going in my brain at once, I'd blue screen to death.
Yeah.
That's probably what would happen. I would just have a fucking memory exception error and fucking blue screen to death.
Just have a seizure right there.
Yep.
And just
So that's it. I'm gonna shut down for a while.
yeah. All right. So, but yeah, that's what's coming up. We got a lot in the queue at this point. There will be no shortage of topics. That is for sure.
No, and for God's sakes, if you haven't already been set up, and I have a feeling that if you're listening to this podcast, there's a really good chance that you've already gotten your Disney Plus subscription squared away.
Mm-hmm.
But for the love of God, The Mandalorian looks like it's going to be fucking fantastic. There's so many non-Star so many non-Star Wars fans that are out just looking at The Mandalorian going, wow, this looks like it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be really fucking good. And I'm like, even if you're not into the books and everything else, this series could probably stand alone and be great.
Yeah.
And not just be good, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Be fucking great. And what better way to launch a fucking service
Mm-hmm.
than this? This could be, other than Disney actually buying the franchise, starting a streaming service with this fucking show. This could
anchor. This is their anchor show.
Yeah, this could be even bigger than you can imagine.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Pray to God.
And pray to God.
Pray to God. Pray to yeah.
So yeah, that's it though. Thanks everyone for watching. So much excitement coming up in the next couple of months. Thank you everybody who supports us on Patreon or who just subscribes and listens. You guys are all the best. We love you. You're the reason why we do this.
Oh, for God's sakes.
And that's it. So until next time, everybody else and Dave, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Go to potbelly.com. Okay, now what do I click? That was better.
Yeah.
I think that one was better.
Yeah.
I gotta just inflect it higher.
Yeah. Do we have any football talk?
Are you ready for some football?
Before we stop the stream?
I want the Giants to beat the Cowboys.
I think unless you're a Cowboys fan, you want the Giants to beat the
Yeah,
Cowboys
this is one of those. Thanks, guys. Thanks in the chat. Yeah, it was a good topic. Good job, Shotgun Mark.
See.
3PO. I gotta pee real quick.
All right. Then I'll just continue to brag about the 49ers while he pees and the audio. exports.
Fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, fucking. Where is it? Right there. Yeah, I mean, to be realistic, there were some moments in that fucking Arizona game where I was scratching my head like, come on, guys, you're better than this. They had moments of brilliance again, but I tell you what, the thing that's going to kill the 49ers this year is the injuries. They are dealing with a lot of injuries right now, and it sucks. Like, they just put somebody on injured reserve, one of the defensive players, I think one of the defensive linemen. So, they're, it's going to be tough. I just want them to beat Seattle at home. Like, we could start losing games after that. I understand. But please, beat Seattle at home. Just do that, please. Just give me that satisfaction. I fucking hate Seattle so much. Just beat them, and then we can lose to, like, fucking New Orleans or Green Bay or whoever. Just win next week, please. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. So, yeah, I'm a little nervous about that game. I'm not gonna lie. I think they'll be better towards the end of the season when they get some of these guys back from injury. The fullback, he's a big one. When he went down, their run game suffered for a little while, but they kind of bounced back this last week. I don't know what the fuck the defense was doing the second half of that game, but they almost fucking
me 3 fucking points. That's what it was doing.
Well, they almost let Arizona back in the fucking game, and I'm just like, whoa, because I went to bed at the start of the third quarter when it was 21-7. I'm like, okay, they got this. They stumbled a little bit early, but then they just fucking
These motherfuckers.
stomped ass after that. And then I wake up the next morning, 49ers narrowly escape loss. I'm like, what?
Listen,
What the fuck happened?
you know what it was? Because Keith Lehman fucking, throws down his fucking challenges via video, right?
Yeah.
So I needed all the points I could get, honestly. I mean, I was projected to lose that fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
And Layman fucking comes up with, I'm up, I forget who his defense was, but fucking hell, I'm like, you know what? I'm not worried about San Fran's D. He's going to get me double-digit points.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fucking problem, right? No, they're going to give me as much points as my fucking kicker.
Yeah.
So legitimately, my entire fucking team that won this week in fantasy consisted of basically 3 players. Because my quarterback went out after throwing a pass with a knee injury. So that was 1.16 points.
Mm-hmm.
3 points out of my fucking kicker, 3 points out of that bullshit San Francisco defense, which I've been dick riding this entire time, quietly.
They've been great up to this point,
So I'm like, all right, fucking cool. But thank God Christian McCaffrey and my fucking other cast of characters, Zach Ertz finally got off the fucking snide.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll let that's
the booth in the back.
Yeah, we'll let the booth in the back guys do that. But fucking hell, man, I was shit talking the wrong team in the beginning of that, but the reality is fucking San Francisco's D let me down.
Yeah.
They let me fucking down.
Yeah.
They let a team like Arizona come back on them.
Like they hadn't won a game in Arizona in like many years, which I hadn't heard, which is weird because
I don't know. They let some fucking midget from Louisville, which is barely a fucking Division I school, come back in that game.
Yeah. You know what's funny? So they acquired that receiver from the Broncos, the 49ers did last week. What's his face? Starts with an E. Anyway, I heard, I was watching some analysts talking, some fucking panel of like ex-pros and broadcasters and whatnot, and somebody actually said, "Oh yeah," and they picked up that little guy from Denver, so he might help the receiving core a little bit. So it was just like a real condescending.
Yeah.
He's kind of a shorter guy.
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck is it? Is it Sanders?
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, he just like very nonchalantly like, yeah, they picked up that little guy in the trade, and I'm just like, wow, that was.
Yeah.
that was...
Dude, I'll tell you, fucking. Sorry, like Deshaun Jackson, big news today. Like out of the Eagles camp, Jackson plays in one series, gets one catch. Comes out because of he wasn't feeling right. Ends up getting a surgery on his fucking abdominal, right?
Oh.
So he's done for 4 to 6 weeks at a minimum.
What was wrong?
They didn't even say. It just said it's fucking core injury, right? So he had to get surgery. It's probably something herniated. Like they used to call it a sports hernia.
Yeah.
So whatever. He should have had this fucking surgery before. But that's oh my god.
And is that why he was out this whole time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So at the first fucking game against the Redskins, after that, he had this abdominal injury. So to try to let it heal, let him come back into this. We have 2 weeks. You could have kept him on the fucking bench this week. Didn't necessarily need him. Although, I mean, you still game plan for like, oh, we're going to list him as questionable, but don't actually fucking put him out there.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. Right? Whatever. People are going to cry about it in fantasy. But from a gamesmanship standpoint, like, okay, yeah, we'll say he's going to play. Cool. Don't fucking play him. Give him 2 extra weeks to fucking heal. And then, boom, he's fucking healthy for the New England game.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. No. Put him out there for one series. Like, fuck, this still kind of sucks. Because at game speed, as soon as you get fucking hit, because he's going to have to go out there and make contact with somebody. As soon as that fucking happens, then now your body's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So, the Eagles made a huge mistake by letting him actually get on the field. And if he wasn't 100%, 100%, it was a must-win game. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, the Eagles basically, to me, the Eagles have to win out. Like, to have a shot. Because the division that we're in, with the Cowboys in there, like, the Cowboys are going to win tonight, most likely. I don't think the Giants can beat them. If the Giants do beat them, then the Cowboys are a fucking shell of what should be a good team.
Right.
Like, anybody who's still fucking following the Cowboys and thinking they're a good team after the Giants beat them, like they need to really rethink things, because there's no reason with the talent level that the Cowboys have that they should lose to the fucking Giants tonight.
Yeah.
As much as I hate it, I fucking hate it. I don't want them to win. But so we're going to have to compete with the Cowboys for the division because I think with teams like the 49ers and you still have the Packers in it. The Vikings are a little bit scary. Although not as much after the fucking after this week.
It's
like,
weird, man. They have like big victories
dude,
and then they like lose like the most
yeah,
unexpected games.
Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He has flashes of fucking brilliance, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think if you're going to try and ride Kirk Cousins, then you're probably going to lose.
Well, and speaking of teams losing unexpectedly, I fucking loved Green Bay losing to fucking the Chargers yesterday. Yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. Because, people have been, as the 49ers have stayed undefeated this whole season.
Right.
I don't know if you read, like, the power rankings every week from all the different
Yeah.
websites.
Yep.
So many websites put both fucking New Orleans and Green Bay above the 49ers, even though they both have a loss.
Yeah.
Thinking, like, well, these guys are still better. Aaron Rodgers is playing at a fucking elite level, blah, blah, blah. And they went in and they got their fucking asses handed to them in fucking L.A. yesterday.
Well, listen, I didn't watch that whole game. I watched a part of it, then I started playing Call of Duty because I don't know, I was done with football. I had enough. But Aaron Rodgers does play at elite level. But tell me one person, tell me two people that fucking Rodgers can count on. They don't have a running game. Yeah. He's got fucking, what's his nuts? Whose name I can't think of right now. The one fucking receiver. Well, God damn it. He's got one guy to throw to.
Yeah.
He's got an old-ass fucking tight end.
Well, see, I'm not discounting him as being a great player. I'm just saying, like, all these other fucking dick writers in the press who are like, think that Green Bay as an overall team are better than San Francisco. Fuck you.
And, yeah, honestly, they don't really have a basis to make that fucking statement. Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Now, New Orleans...
New Orleans with an Alvin Kamara, with a fucking wide receiver group that's really good, with a defense that can fucking be sneaky good, and Drew fucking Brees.
Yeah, who's still fucking got it. Like, well, what was amazing was they maintained that level of play even when he was injured. Like, that was the thing. Like, they kept fucking winning after he went down.
Right.
Which is pretty impressive.
With Teddy Bridgewater in there.
Yeah, when he went down, I'm like, oh, their season's done. And he came back, what was it, like 5-6 weeks later? And they're 8-1. Yeah. So, I mean, they're doing pretty good.
Yep.
But I'm curious how that offense is going to do when they play the Niners defense. Like, if the Niners defense is at full strength and if they get over some of these fucking injuries, I'd love to see how that matchup, plays out.
Yeah. Well, listen. It's the NFC is got a lot of potential there for a NFC East team that doesn't win their division to miss the playoffs.
Yeah. And
that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that we could have a 10-6 season and not make the playoffs because we didn't win the division.
It happens.
And I'll put my Eagles team, once we get into the playoffs, I will playoffs. If I can get this team to the playoffs, then I think they can do something really special.
Sure.
But we have to get there. And that's going to be the challenge, and that's why we need teams like the Giants to fucking play better than they are. And on the AFC, I don't know. People need to fucking go out there and put up a fucking fight against the goddamn Patriots. Yeah. Don't lie down in front of the Patriots. Surprise teams like the Raiders go out and beat fucking Detroit.
Oh, the Raiders won that game?
The Raiders did in fact win that game, even though Don Schnooky Solsky. I think Big Levin was trying to draw attention to the fact that the Raiders may have won that fucking football game, that contest or alleged contest.
Yeah.
Poor fucking. You know what? I don't like the Raiders. I just don't. It's a whole thing from the
never liked them either.
From the 1980 fucking Super Bowl that the Eagles lost to them.
Yeah.
Not a Raiders fan. I'm not. But definitely the Detroit Dick Riders needed to fucking come down a peg.
Yeah.
They really did. I think they were getting a little too big for their britches. A little bit.
Yeah, they needed a reminder that you're still fucking Detroit.
Yeah,
okay?
You're still Detroit.
People still remember. You know, we don't forget.
Yeah, and you guys are in the Cantina, most of you guys. So I think that the appropriate response to something like this is to go and make sure that even if you're not into fantasy, even if you're just listening to this going like, why are you talking about football? What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is in fact the football portion
Yeah.
of the podcast. And go in there and vote for, put a write-in vote for the Detroit Death Stars. I have it in good authority that the commissioner can change the name pretty much whenever he wants. So I think if it's the will of the people to change a name,
I love democracy.
if it's the will of the people, then we can make this happen.
All right.
We can make this happen.
All right.
If somebody can give us money to have you snap more, then for you can bet your damn Skippy that I can change a fucking name of a team if it's the will of the people.
Nice.
It's for the greater good.
Yeah, and somebody make that meme too. Make the meme of us doing the votes in the Facebook group with Palpatine underneath. I love democracy.
Yes.
So
And
somebody make that. Get on.
hey,
it.
listen,
Get on
Big Luffin, you are a Raiders fan, and I can appreciate that. And you gotta love it when there's a little fucking in-service rivalry happening.
Sure.
Bronco failed to mention he's trying to get me to. I happen to have been wrong about the Death Troopers versus Stealth Troopers. I was so wrong. I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't want to highlight that fact. And usually the irony is he's trying to get us to talk about football, and then now he's trying to bring back Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah. Bronco Fett was right. I was incorrect.
I'm stupid. You're smart.
You're saying that.
You're
I'm not.
good looking. I'm not attractive.
Yes. And we
As long
know
as you're
that
ready to admit that.
now.
Yeah.
Change the number of playoff teams. I don't know that I can do that. I think that's something
I
I
thought you were
have.
the commissioner. I thought you had the ultimate power.
I wield the ultimate power in the universe. However, it's fucking mostly cheap tricks and fucking smoke bombs. Let me see. Schedules and playoffs. Edit division. Edit skipped weeks. Can't adjust playoffs. No. Divisions. Let me see. I can edit schedules. No, we don't want to do that. That we had supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. Dude, how fucking good was Mighty Python?
Oh, it was fucking great.
I was thinking about it. I was out picking up dog shit of all things. And I'm thinking about just Mighty Python and the brilliance of the fucking skits.
Yeah.
Like the one skit with where he's looking for an argument.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. The argument clip.
Yeah, and he's going, Mr. Barnard, but he's a bit conciliatory. Like you're looking for an argument. You're not trying to go to somebody who is going to be conciliatory and like kind of yield to your argument.
Yeah.
So that little fucking iota of the English language that like is probably lost on 98% of the people who fucking listen to it is like, that's fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah.
And it's said basically under her breath and is like the throwaway lines out of a Monty Python skit are absolute fucking gold.
Oh yeah.
They're absolutely fucking brilliant. Just brilliant.
Oh yeah. And the whole back and forth with him and Michael Cleese, right? Michael Cleese? That's his name?
Yeah.
John Cleese.
Cleese.
The whole back and forth. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. And it's so good. The timing was fucking spot on that.
They were so there was just the little nuances of some of the Monty Python bits in the 70s especially. Well, see it. Hey, big lovin'. Peace out, brother.
And even in some of the movies, like
keep doing you.
I still think Life of Brian is one of the smartest movies ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's so well done on so many levels, and it's fucking brilliant.
There's so much good stuff in Life of Brian, but I am still a Holy Grail guy. Like I think just from the pound for pound gold.
Yeah, and it's
the Holy Grail's got it.
It's much more quotable. It's it's the like so many different bits.
The violence inheritance system. Help! I'm being repressed. Bloody peasants! Oh, what a giveaway! Shut up! Will you shut up?
I was just thinking about that scene too a couple days ago, where he's like, what was it like? Supreme power should fall with the people, not with like.
Supreme executive power
Yeah.
derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony.
Right.
Shut up!
Yeah.
If I had a watery tart lobbing a scimitar at you, it's fucking
Yeah,
just.
it's so good.
Yeah, well, the best part at work is you get like Big Swede and the one of the engineers, Vickers, like, you know, you get all in that fucking, you get a little bit going, and like one person says something, and you can get the whole fucking skit going. It's it is from a comedy perspective, because I mean, let's face it, I think about shit like that because we're here to entertain, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of ways to be more entertaining for you. I'm gonna be your clown.
Dance, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. It hurts just to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just those little nuances. And what's really funny is I'm picking up dog shit, listening to music, and the Monty Python thing pops in. Ooh.
I don't know which one to focus on the most.
That's a nice Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Collector Series. Lego. Fuck me.
Going through my Instagram feed, this lady I follow, she's quite the attractive one.
Whatever.
And then she's like,
Hey, Tevin, have a good night. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. So
It's
anyway,
only 6 p.m.
We should probably consider wrapping this up anyway. We've been rambling on enough. This is the bonus content.
It is.
For those of you who,
this is the bonus content.
You know, who subscribe to us and support us.
Yeah, and yeah, watch the booth in the back to hear more about how I rose up and defeated layman's terms.
Yeah. Are you 5-4 now too?
I am. Well, see, and this is the bitch of it. Like, you know, spoiler alert. Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
I focused in on there. Nice. It didn't help me. Like, even beating him, because he has more points than I do. So it won't change the standings.
Well,
We'll both be 5-4, but he's gonna have more points than me. So I still stay at 5th.
Right, but it's better than being 4-5. So
Factually correct. But I was looking at it this morning as I was driving in, because for fuck's sake, if I don't focus on something while I'm driving into work, I'll fucking fall. I'll be asleep at the wheel.
Really?
Like, it is that fucking bad.
Holy
like
shit.
drive back and forth. That's why I need this fucking book to come out, because I need something to focus on. Because I'll have to
listening probably first thing in the morning.
Yeah, no, I plan on it first thing tomorrow morning.
Hopefully my watch syncs overnight. I'll have to double check that and make sure. But anyway, it's time to go. My bedtime's coming up, so we gotta end this.
Yeah, and I haven't eaten dinner yet. So
thanks again, everyone. We love you guys.
Peace, bitches.
See you next week. Hit us up in the cantina.
What are you doing? What is he doing?